In this question, there are two approaches to this. You can either write the equations from the graph, or you can graph the inequalities in your calculator. If you have a calculator, of course, the fastest thing to do is to just graph them in your calculator and see which one matches. If you are just trying to do this from scratch, it's doable. You're just going to have to look at these three inequalities separately. So you're going to look at it like you have one going like this and it's shaded this way, which is this one right here. You're going to have another inequality that is horizontal and it's shaded above that, which is this line right here. And then you're going to have to look at another going vertical and it's shaded on this side. So that's how you get your three inequalities separately. Just to teach you from scratch is just kind of remembering the horizontal and vertical lines from the acronym of HOI-VUX. HOI is for horizontal, V is for vertical. For this horizontal line, you just got to look at where it's touching. So it's touching at -2. And that means that we're going to start with the letter Y. Decide if this is greater, shaded above, or if shaded above, it means greater than or less than. So I mentioned in class the way you can check is if you look at the Y values above this point is the greater values than -2. So we're going to put greater than or equal to -2. So this is already that one, the horizontal inequality. Then the vertical one is VUX. So we're going to start with X and then decide if on the left side is the less than or greater than values. So here we're looking at the line being like a wall and shaded this way on the left side because we're including these values. So these values are definitely less than this number. So we're going to use the less than or equal to. And then we're going to check what number it's touching. So it's a 2. So this will be the inequality for the vertical inequality. So if we look at the answer choices here on the assignment, we can compare that we're looking for x is less than or equal to 2. So these two answers have that. And these two answers have that as well. So all four have the x, the vertical line. Then we're going to look at the other answer we got, which is y is greater than -2. So then let's look. Y is greater than -2. It's this one. Y is greater than -1. Nope. So we can remove that one. Y is greater than -2, so this works. And then y is greater than -2. So these three are y is greater than -2. As far as the other equation, if we look at it, we know that it's going up, so it's positive slope. And then, of course, there's a lot of extra steps that go behind that from Algebra 1. Writing your equation in mx plus b. And then if you look at the answer choices, only this one at the bottom has that third equation in y equals mx plus b mode. The other two are in standard form. So these just require a lot of steps that I think at this moment, since you're reviewing for the semester exam, we're going to just instead use the calculator and graph these. So let's graph these two for sure. We're going to go to the calculator and clear this. And we're going to graph x less than. So when you go to graph, f of x comes out. So just press delete. This comes out as an option. So if you want to graph this one first, let's graph this one first. We're going to go to y is greater than or equal -2. And then there's that line, that inequality line and shading. Then we're going to graph this one. So we're going to press tab and type x is less than. So the less than will be in control equals +2. And there's that one. So now we need to check what that diagonal line is. So we're going to go to the answer choices. And let's try this first one. 3x minus 2y greater than or equal to 3. So we're going to press tab and press 3x minus 2y, control equals, and then it's greater than or equal to 3. So if I press graph, this shows that it's shaded this way, which is kind of like what we want. We do want that, but we also want to make sure that it is touching at the places that this graph is. So like if you notice, this line is touching at +3 on the y-axis and around -2 on the x. So let's analyze that graph that we have here and see if it works as well. So I'm going to go to trace, graph trace. And right now, it's hard to tell from the video, but if you notice, it's traveling on the blue. So I'm going to press down and it goes into that diagonal line. So now I'm going to go to the right and see where it's touching on the x. So when it's touching the x, it tells me it's 0 and it's at 1. So definitely that's not what we want, because what we want is touching somewhere over here at -2. So this is not it. This one's very similar to that one, 3x minus 2y, but that one has a -6 on the side. So let's go ahead and edit this diagonal graph. I'm going to just double click it and go back to that and change it to -6. And it looks like it went the same direction, same shading area, but it just went a little bit higher. So now I'm going to trace this one. And it shows that the y-intercept is at 0.3, which is something that we saw on the sketch, touching at 3 right here. And then now we check the x. So right here where it says 0, it says it's touching on -2. So then once again, if you look at the sketch, it does look like it's touching sort of at -2. So this could be the answer. I would still take the time to graph this third one and check that this one won't be. So I'm going to just type that in here, press tab, go up, and I'm just going to actually unclick this one. And on relation 4, type the other one, the one that I'm checking for. So that one is going to be y, and then less than negative fraction of 2/3 x plus 3. So definitely is not the answer, because this one went down. So that's a negative slope. And obviously what we have in our sketch is a positive slope. So the answer for this is the one shown right here below. And again, the whole point of this video is to show you how to type it in, how to double check that it is the solution set. So I hope this video helps you with that.